know Lyra's not going to be picked, so you literally give yourself a free Lyra Saw Rhyme combo. Such a strong pick, and if you get it on B side, that's ridiculous. They still could last pick it, but with a Lance, much less likely to be picked. And now, to counter this, you've got an Arden. You probably want to go for a poke comp because there's not really many heroes in the game besides Rona and maybe Alpha that could try and beat this Rhyme Lance combo in a brawl.
Yep, well, the Lance this time actually being in the hands of Divine Aurora. Last time they were able to get that Arden on their side. So both teams seem to think Lance is good enough, worth the pick up. And I think it really goes into the whole engaging into a team fight. The CC he provides there, we saw a lot of times in the previous fight where the Impale into the Githian wall really did work out, even going against the other Rhyme. And now that they have the Rhyme alongside the Lance, it's just that much more powerful. And I think that they could even, if they wanted to, go for full engage comp with that Verona. But I am a bit against full engage comps, although we seem to see them a fair bit. It is also the fact that they can fall apart quite easily by teams that can kite around you, such as that of the Vox and the Sky.
I think Rona definitely could work, but we're going to see a Gwen. Not quite sure why that was instant locked. It's not an obvious pick for most teams. Most teams don't expect that Gwen is so OP that you want to pick her up straight away. She's all right against Vox, all right against Sky, not necessarily a straight up counter. Why do you think they've gone straight in for this Gwen without much hesitation?
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. Gwen, fairly odd pick to say the least. I mean, Gwen wasn't so much in the meta at all. Not a bad pick, but just not a meta pick, and really going up against Vox, who is so meta in that previous patch. I'm wondering how it's going to work out. Burst can work out with it. You've got that of the lockdown coming through from the rest of your teammates, the Lance and the Rhyme love CC in that kit, and then you've got your own CC with the boom shot. I'm getting the boomstick and the buckshot mixed up, but the buckshot to slow them down and the ace is high. Of course, that burst would work out well. We've talked about the whole mixture of that tension bow with the buckshot, and put a Sorrow Blade behind that just for some extra base damage at the start as well will work out quite nicely.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to see a tension bow on Gwen. Hopefully second item. I don't think first item tension bow is that good, especially given the health changes. Tension bow got nerfed too hard, then got buffed a little bit, but it's still not quite where it was before. And so I'd love to see a Sword Blade first on this Gwen. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out for Divine Auroras. I think Elite 8 have got an edge in this draft, mainly just because no one knows how strong Weapon Gwen is. We've seen it a couple of times, but it never really shone through as such a strong pick that it needs to be prioritized, whereas Vox, in many games, has shone through as a pick that needs to be prioritized. You get that breaking point, you're going to be able to outdamage Gwen in a 1 versus 1. As long as you are full health at the start of the fight, you've built an Oak Heart, then you'll be able to tank the tension bow proc damage and beat her because you have a breaking point so you can stack up. I hope Vox goes breaking point double tyrants, not poison shiv first. I know it's good against Rhyme, but it's so good against the Gwen if you go for pure damage and try and out-trade her, because Gwen has no healing. And so you leave your Sky to 1 versus 1 the Rhyme, and as Vox, you try and 1v1 the Gwen. We're going to have to wait and see what this Vox is going to decide to build, how well this Gwen's going to work out. Let us know which team you think is going to win. Is it going to be Divine Aurora, or is it going to be Elite 8? As we are loading into the house to unfold, and once again, casting this game alongside yourself, August Jewel, we bring in Luxuria.
Hello, and welcome back to the second game between Elite 8 and Divine Aurora, or I rather call them Divas, because looking at draft itself, you would think, this draft very similar to the draft that you'll see in when 2.10 comes into competitive play, because Gwen is strong in 2.10, but coming into 2.9.1, I personally think there are better heroes out there as compared to the Gwen. But hey, they might have just played Gwen a million times, and they probably know the ins and outs, knows the pros and cons, and where the power spikes of Gwen is. But we do see all three members of the 8 once again Nate's putting the pressure.
Yeah, and I agree with you there in the fact that there are a lot better laners out there than that of the Gwen in the 2.9 kind of one patch. But I think it comes down to ultimate team synergy between these heroes that it really works out with the CC available in their kit. It's quite a lockdown kit that they've got for themselves. The Impale, the Chilled Winds to go into that of Buckshot, into Ace's High, the Giphy and Wall. There's so much they can do for their team comp, and the burst that Gwen provides, although this is why she doesn't work out so well, because there are heroes such as this Fox who in the late game just have such good weapon scaling and put out so much damage overall through the whole team fight. I think it's going to rely a lot more on the team focus there and getting those ganks off correctly for the side of Divine Aurora, but we do see some aggression coming through by Elite 8 into Divine Aurora's jungle. Sky not going to get hit by that Impale, instead kiting back, might be able to steal away that mid-treant and is able to do so, and now rotating up to the lane, putting a bit of harass onto Knight on C. As their lane is getting pushed up, but you know, we'll have to see how this match breaks out and how it goes, because both teams played fairly evenly in the previous match and is quite close back and forth, and just depended on the timing of Kraken and which team was able to win out those late game team fights in the end.
Yep, but we saw a similar team comp. I think it was an exact team comp coming through from D.Va before with this Gwen, Rhyme, and Lance, and it worked out really, really well in that particular game because of the CC chains, like you mentioned, route into another route, into a possible stun, into a Valkyrie slow and stun, into, you know, stun from Gwen. So tons of CC just popping and dropping all across D.Va onto Elite 8. But Elite 8 just being so, you know, their team comp is just so elusive. It will be very, very difficult, right, to land those CCs onto Elite 8 and the members of Elite 8. So it's just down to execution. But I've got hopes for D.Va. Like Minimizer, I've got tons of hope.
Yeah, well, you did mention that of the Valkyrie that I forgot to previously, but we do see the engage there going through by the side of Divine Aurora's, but the Lance going to be the one to fall first as he goes in and just, as we mentioned before in the previous match, why Lance wasn't really working out too well, was that he'd tank up too much damage whenever he misses those impales, and the enemy's just able to take advantage of those few seconds, or a second, I believe it is, where he's immobile and just out there in the front line. But here's going to be the engagement coming through once again by Divine Aurora's, this time successful. The boots being popped on Spitfire there to catch out the box, and knowing that Arden have rotated down, so very good game sense coming through by Divine Aurora's in today's matches, or at least from what we saw in the previous match and coming into this one.
Yep, and we mentioned it before, right? That, or rather, the Dast spoke about it. That you guys would have preferred the Sorrow Blade being picked up as first item because of the changes made to health, and on top of that as well, the nerf and buff that Tension Bow saw in 2.0, 2.9.0, and 2.9.1. So within that, we saw Tension Bow being changed quite drastically, to be completely honest. But Nionc definitely putting in good work with the Tension Bow, able to put out so much damage alongside a heroic perk as well. So I don't know. I mean, this is good power spike for Nionc. But with the amount of sustain coming through from Han Jaeger, Majin though, taking a lot of damage.
Yes, Majin taking a lot of damage indeed. At this point, doesn't have the fountain just yet, so he's not going to be able to pop that in case of emergency, whereas Anime Save Me already does. And now Elite 8 with the aggression onto this turret. They are slightly, very so slightly ahead in terms of gold, but Majin not sure about that dive in there. He is able to get the Giphy wall off the back of it, but the damage coming out in return, he really needs to be careful of Spitfire with that level 6, however. Trying to make the rotation up, could try looking for the Valkyrie, but his farm's just going to get stolen away from him, and he has to go up to lane to help this Gwen push it. This could be the exchange they get, but they don't go onto that initial turret as Anime Save Me and Hunyegas rotate back up to lane. So right now, rotational plays being in favor of that of Elite 8. There's the one mistake where Vox got caught out on his own, the one kill that went over in favor of Divine Aurora's. But other than that, they've seemed to be holding pressure up in this lane, as well as being able to put pressure in the jungle onto that Rhyme.
Yeah, but I'm kind of liking how the side of D.Va is playing. Although your jungle has been stolen by the other side, No, actually, I wanted to say that I don't like it. I'm not sure why it came out as I kind of like it, because if your jungle is being placed, put pressure on, you shouldn't just, go up onto lane and try to apply reverse pressure as a split push in that of lane, instead of just allowing Elite 8 to just do that to you. So Elite 8 now has got 2 pressure spots.
Yep, and there's going to be Majin taking a lot of return damage diving in once again, because the rest of Divine Aurora is just not following up on the back of this. And it's why I said Divine Auroras have to be doing here. They really have to go in off the back of that lance to make this a successful comp, but it's really not working out for them, as Majin just going in the front line, giving the enemy team free damage onto him, and really giving them the team fights in a sense. I know that they're not so much team fights and it's more just poke wars for now, but if they had decided to go into a team fight, of course the side of Elite 8 would have the advantage.
Yeah, but the first turret of Elite 8 will be pushed out right now, and Margin really needs to be on point with those impales.
Oh, there's going to be Spitfire diving onto the backline, but Valkyrie does get blocked out, however, and will have to back off from there for now. But great impale going down onto Hun Jaegers and Anime Save Me, but once again, no real follow-through from the rest of Divine Auroras, and just a bit of a passive game so far coming out from them. And both turrets actually fairly low at this point, under half health.
Yeah, but
Timmy has to back out there, and Anime Save Me not going to be taken down by Spitfire, although he has a Shad Glass. But Arden too tanky to take right now, and I think I'm not too sure how worth that gauntlet for the kill was, but in a sense the gauntlet to get the kill did stop the side of Divine Aurora taking a turret in return.
Yeah, when you actually said hoo, I thought that was the exact reaction that, Nancy had, but now Impale do land.
Oh, and there's gonna be that
one big issue I see with Lance being picked up for the side of Diva, it's that you frontline way too much damage, right? Official Heinz damage, skills with lock-on, skills with level as well, and crystal power. So if you're locked on, if you're frontlining, you're locked on, it just deals so much damage. I mean, the Sky can just put out so much.
Who he is. We don't need to say his name. He's just going to be able to sneak away long enough to prevent the ace, and the rest of his team were able to get back up on the fold, even though he falls in the end.
Yep, so Anime Save Me doing an excellent job, actually, just running away and just delaying the ace, like you mentioned. But now, the side of Diva may be looking for more.
They might be indeed. Ace's High comes through, but Death from Above going to keep the rest of Divine Aurora away from that engagement. Instead, they're going to turn their attention to that of the gold mine. Going back to that, what I mentioned before, the fact that what I expected Elite 8's comp to be would be that of having the Dragon's Eye on the Sky and the Breaking Point on the Vox, and stacking up those the damage over the team fights. And then, although you don't have the instant damage
fights and a lot of those wombo combos that we've seen, right? But he needs to land those initial roots into those Githan wall before those, those plays can be made, and that will definitely benefit the team. And once again,
we do see that poke going across from either side. However, really for Nionc, the trouble of having that breaking point is against a comp like, well, Elite 8 has. It's hard to stand in that front line because Hun Jaegers is going to actually be able to dance around you quite well, and you don't want to be standing still with each shot because Sky is going to find quite an easy job of getting the damage down onto you, if not just juking around it. But
a lot of decisional, mistakes and errors coming through from the side of Divine Aurora at this point.
Yep, and we'll have to see whether Elite 8 are going to give over any mistakes themselves. Although the kill feed fairly even 9-7, we see the gold lead not too far ahead either with 36.6k and over to 30.
Who gets the Kraken? But in this case itself, official